Chapter 5. Well, now that I have explained to you what the goddess Karna Pishachini is, we will see the dangers of buying this devil over the phone. Nowadays, this practice is very widespread and commonplace in our Tamil Hindu community. I would say that almost one person in every family has this entity in their home. In the quest for power, even a 14 or 16-year-old teenager buys this vampire over the phone. The person who sells it is surely the one who did the sadhana of this deity without the authorization of Mother Goddess Kali. A person like me who has done sadhana with permission will never sell his mother for money. Even if you offered me $100,000, I would say no. My mother is not for sale. It's the equivalent of selling your own mother into a prostitution ring. Besides, in one situation, Mother Karna Pishachini told me, "Some people sell me on the market. Am I a doll to be sold?" That's what she told me. On the other hand, if I sell this goddess to you, and if you harm someone with her power, it is me who will accumulate bad karmas, and not you. You could have hurt someone, because it was me who gave you that weapon. Otherwise, maybe without this weapon, you wouldn't have hurt anyone. So I would be fully responsible for that. If I don't pay, my descendants will have to pay for my actions one day. Okay. As I already told you in the previous chapter, people who invoked this divinity without authorization, they will sell it on the market. Moreover, there is a market for it, known by some Sri Lankan and Indian Hindus. The seller would have sold to maybe 100 people. In the latter, 10 buyers will resell this divinity to other people. So how does it work? You pay the seller the amount he asks for, and you should give your name, first name or photo to the seller. The latter will think of you and focus on you, and an avatar of this vampire will be transferred to you from Sri Lanka or India. It works telepathically. Following this transfer, you will acquire certain powers. But do not forget that the one who did the sadhana without the authorization of the Mother Goddess Kali would have invoked a she-devil and not a goddess. In other words, you are going to buy the devil over the phone, and the consequences that come with the presence of this evil entity in your home. I would say the seller probably doesn't know the dangers of this deity. Even if he knows, he won't tell you, because otherwise, there won't be any buyers. I am making this video not with the aim of harming their sales, but rather to warn people. The victims are numerous. Some even lost their lives because of the power of this goddess. Besides, I myself almost lost my life twice. I will tell you about this later in the chapters. Buyers think they will become clairvoyant by purchasing this divinity over the phone, but they will quickly become disillusioned because it is a false belief. For now, we will focus on the dangers of this practice. The first danger for you could very well come from the seller himself. I would say that 95% of sellers on the market are monsters. They will be capable of anything, even the worst. Remember that they know the power of this deity perfectly, and they can use it against you. From my experience, I can tell you that this has happened before. Example, a Sri Lankan woman came to consult me and she wanted to buy this divinity over the phone. I immediately warned her that there was a real danger for his 9-year-old granddaughter. But the latter, believing that I was jealous of her, did not believe me. She absolutely wanted to have this divinity at her side in the quest for power. On the second day of her purchase, her 9-year-old granddaughter began screaming at night as if she were having sex with someone. My client came back to see me and told me about this incident. Thanks to my clairaudience, I immediately knew that it was the seller who sold the goddess. It was he himself who made love to his client's little daughter. The seller is a 24-year-old man. The irony is that he himself did not know that he was having sex with a 9-year-old girl. Otherwise, he would never have committed this act. He is not a pedophile. The power of this deity is very great, and under no circumstances should it be in the hand of a bad person. This is why, sooner or later, a person like me will step in to clean up. Since this deity is an avatar of the goddess Kali, I sent Mother Kali to collect her avatar from the seller, and I also called the devil present with this Sri Lankan mother. The problem was resolved. Once Mother Kali stepped in to get her avatar back, you could never have this deity by your side again. This also applies to me. If I harm someone with the power of this goddess, either the latter will punish me, or the goddess Kali herself will intervene and recover her avatar. After that, I would no longer be clairvoyant, and I would no longer have any power. Well, if the danger for you does not come from the seller, it will come through this deity herself. The one who did the sadhana would have made a chakra, that is to say a house for this entity. But if you buy it over the phone, then you don't have chakra, and therefore this deity will be sitting on your shoulder if you are awake. At night, since she doesn't have a place to go, she will sit on your chest when you sleep. You would feel like someone is sitting on your chest. This can lead to a heart attack if you already have a medical history. Then, the sorcerer who performed the sadhana would make a hen sacrifice for this vampire every month. But you, if you buy it over the phone, you wouldn't do that. Even if you do, this deity will not accept it. Only the one who invoked her must make offerings. It is up to the employer to pay their employee. As a result, this bloodthirsty vampire will suck a little of your blood or sperm. During periods of menstruation in women present in the house, this vampire could become very aggressive. The consequences are that you will become sterile over time, and if a woman becomes pregnant in your family, this devil could very well eat the fetus. Remember that you brought the devil into your house yourself. Third, Hindus know very well that when a god or goddess incarnates in our body, the 5 elements will adapt to the divine spirit. I remind you that the 5 elements are air, water, fire, earth and space. The she-devil you bought over the phone, at first she will be sitting on your shoulder. Afterwards, it will try to enter your body, and at some point, it will succeed to take possession of you. If this happens, your 5 elements will not be in agreement with this intrusion. They will try to drive this spirit out of your body permanently, but to no avail. We will be in a bit of the same scenario where a virus has entered your body and your white blood cells are trying to eliminate it. Your Kundalini energy will start to panic and fight in all sides. This could have very harmful consequences to your internal organs. You could have a kidney or heart that no longer works properly. As a result, you will become seriously ill. Fourth danger, this deity is in the service of someone who originally invoked it. But now she is at your service. That is to say, from a bad person who bought it over the phone. This is not going to please this devil at all. At first everything will be fine, but it won't last long. This vampire will make sure to ruin your life, so that you yourself will give up on it one day. Remember, this is a Mother Kali avatar. It can create terrible fights between you and someone else and cause you to break down. She can send you to prison for life in a murder case. In other words, it can create all kinds of problems in your life. The dangers I have just mentioned are not exhaustive. There are many other dangers when you use its power. We will see this in the chapters to come in the form of true stories that I myself experienced.